What's up, guys? I'm Austin from All Right, and you're listening to Mikey's Untitled Music Show.
Welcome to Mikey's Untitled Music Show, guys. Today, joining us, we have Austin from the band All Right. Say what's up, Austin.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me, Michael. Appreciate you.
Of course. Hey, thank you for coming on. Today, we're going to try to get into the creativity, where the creativity comes from, and where the musical mind of the band All Right comes from. Um, Austin, how long has the band been together?
Um, Dude, so the band's actually only been, sorry, I'm looking at my phone to look at the amount of posts we have because we don't miss a day. So it's been like 36 nights. It's been like 35 days, 36 days, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of fresh. It's kind of insane like how fast everything's happening for us. But we've been making music our entire lives. I live with my two brothers. That's who is in the band with me.
Mhm.
And so, we like our relationship runs deep. Like we've obviously I'm the oldest, so I've known both of them their entire lives.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we've all made music our entire lives, but I just moved back from Portland, Oregon to Southern Oregon, and moved in with them, and we were just like scheming on all our solo stuff, and it was like, yo, it makes sense. Why don't we just make music together? It makes way more sense, you know?
Yeah. What was like the first or like earliest memory or first time that you remember actually like sitting down and being creative with music?
Um, I do know, but I will say that there's a thread that runs between us all as far as like where the inspiration came from. We would spend a lot of time at our grandpa's house, Grandpa Joe, and he's like just an extraordinary man, bro. He was like a professional boxer. He was a pilot in the Navy. He was a magician, but he was also an insane piano player. And every morning at 6 a.m. when we'd stay at grandpa and grandma's house, we would wake up to just the sound of him ripping the piano and singing gospel music and stuff. So I knew from a very early age, and that's something that we all experienced, you know.
Hmm.
But I knew from a really early age, like, oh, this is sick. I love the way that this music makes me feel. And so I would say that's the first inspiration. And then when I was in fourth grade, my mom got me a drum set and my sister a guitar for Christmas. And I was like a super like emo kid, dude. In fourth grade, I was already listening to like Hawthorne Heights, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco and stuff.
Yeah.
Fourth grade is the year Panic at the Disco's first album dropped. And so I remember like stealing my sister's guitar and like laying on this big beanbag. And like, I remember this girl named Morgan in fourth grade. She was like, I had the biggest crush on her, bro. And I remember like learning she was gonna move away and just being so sad, like strumming an E chord and an A minor in my beanbag and just like singing my heart out about me being sad that she was moving. And now, 20 some years later, I feel like the music makes a lot more sense once you know that about me. You know? So yeah, fourth grade, shouts out mom and dad for getting me a drum set. I did love playing the drums, but I would always find myself just stealing my sister's guitar and just ripping on it. And then my Aunt Jessica had like a little notebook that had like how to play like Jingle Bells all on like the high E string and stuff. And so I kind of just slowly learned a little more and a little more until yeah, I got kind of competent at playing. So
Yeah, that's awesome that it kind of started with your grandpa. It's pretty much kind of the same thing with me.
mm,
I remember like being a little kid, and I mean, you said that Panic at the Disco, their album dropped when you were in fourth grade. I was probably like you're aging me a little bit here. I was probably like a freshman or something like that.
okay, for sure. Yeah,
Uh,
that was my sister. She took me to
okay,
the mall. I remember putting the headphones on. You remember when Hot Topic had the CD section and you
hell
could
yeah,
listen?
dude.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
we're OGs, bro.
You push
Not a lot
push
of
the
people remember it.
button.
Exactly, dude.
You got
I
to push
remember
that button
pushing
really
it.
quick.
Yeah, yeah, and being like, yo, this sounds like Fall Out Boy, and giving it to my sister and being like, yo, will you please buy this for me, dude? And shouts out, she did, and we listened to it. It was stuck in her car for like months, bro. It was sick.
Oh hell yeah, dude, that was a great album when it first came out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like my grandpa was like he used to have a record player, and
Nice.
so Um, like we grew up in a Christian home, so uh, like a lot of other music, oh, it was of the world and blah blah blah,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he had a few records, a few like oldies records, like with Rock Around the Clock and like Stop in
Nice.
the Name of Love,
Yeah, yeah.
we would like be like little dancing like by the record player. We would pretend like we were singing the song, or not pretend like we were singing the songs, like we would lip sync the songs and do like the little dances
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
so yeah,
Little
music's
concerts in
been
your head, bro. I've been there.
exactly,
I've been
It's
there.
funny too because it actually kind of brings up a memory we used to have when we were kids. Like music's been in our lives like our whole lives pretty much, not
Yeah.
really by playing, but just by being around it. So there were times where um my sister, my uncle and I would pretend like we were in a band. And so what we would do is my dad used to have drumsticks. So one of us, or my dad used to be a drummer, so one of us would pretend like we were playing the drums on a couch. The other one would
Yeah.
pretend like, we had a broom, so we pretended like we were playing the guitar. And
Yeah.
the other one would like pretend that we were like singing with the mic or whatever. And we would do like whole songs and like go like a good like 3 or 4 songs, like just switching
That's
instruments
tight.
supposedly, and like being in our little concert and shit. So yeah, dude,
Yeah, that's the
it's
best, bro.
it's awesome when when you kind of unlock those memories or have those memories, especially with music, because I feel everybody has like some connection to it, right?
100%, yeah.
Um, like you said that you like Panic at the Disco. You had Panic at the Disco when like your first one of your first albums when or in fourth grade. I can
Yeah.
hear Panic at the Disco like
Uh,
influence it
I get that a
in
lot,
your
dude. I mean, all that
music.
stuff was so I listened to it so young. It was so like formative in my brain, that it's just like you can't scoop it out if you tried. I grew up later in life I started like a metal band. It's still floating around there somewhere. You can find the tracks. Our name was 10 Teeth Past Human. And I played with them. We were like 16. We went on my first tour and stuff. We were like, I like to think we were good. Um, but it like obviously I feel like that's kind of the pop punk route is you grow up listening to Take Back Sunday, Brand New, Fall Out Boy. You get into like Under Oath, for example, or
Yeah.
like that Sleeping with
Concord
Sirens, like
Heights.
that wave. Yeah. And then we just kept going deeper and deeper until I just ended up playing like progressive metal. Like I don't know, this is probably a little out of the scope for a lot of people, but like Between the Buried and Me, Cynic, Unearth, like that was the type of stuff I really loved.
Yeah.
Um, and it was weird coming back to like my roots, I guess, just being like, let's just make emo music. Let's just do what we're good at, like what we know type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
When you first get into, so you're in the band with can you want to introduce or you want to, tell us
Yeah,
who the
one's
other
actually
bandmates
right
are?
here. He's just snuck off to the side, dude. This is
What's
Brendan.
up, Brendan? Hey, Brendan of All Right, everybody. Brendan of
Yes,
All Right
sir.
is right there.
What's your name?
My name is Mikey.
Mikey, nice to meet you, brother.
Mikey the
Nice to meet
man.
you, Brendan.
Brendan does all of our production, synths, engineering. He also makes like a bunch of insane solo music. One of the things is both my brothers, Christian's at work right now, but I'll introduce him in a second. But both my brothers are like insanely gifted. Like he plays every instrument. Christian plays every instrument. They're insane songwriters. They have similar inspirations. It's just like different eras of our bloodline. It's weird, bro. But yeah, that's the main man. He's the middle child between us, and then my
Mm-hmm.
other brother Christian is our youngest. He's 21, right? Well, expose myself. Yeah, he's 21. Um, and dude, he's our little hit maker. Like, he's insane. Both of them are really cracked at like doing stuff on the DAW, like
Uh,
actually producing. They started doing hip hop, and I had a little hip
okay.
hop phase myself. I feel like that's kind of the natural progression of metal kids as you go through a little hip hop phase.
Yeah.
Um, but they like they had that same seed of like emo music in them from just growing up around me and my sister.
Yeah.
And it's crazy watching like everything come full circle. And like now I'm showing them like, all the oldies and they're like, dude, what the heck happened to this stuff? This stuff's fire. Like old
Oh,
Mayday
hell
Parade
yeah.
and stuff like that, bro. So every morning that's kind of the stuff we jam. We just try to like stay inspired, stay true to our roots. And Yeah, that's kind of why you guys hear so much nostalgia in our music, I think.
Yeah, and it's it's very well. I mean, you don't want to tell anybody that their music's not very well produced, right? But I mean, it sounds really good, brother. Like you,
Appreciate it.
I'm kind of sad that I don't that you guys just have that one song out like on your Instagram. Is
Yeah.
there any other music you have out that
I I don't have any music out, but I did come prepared to leak something for you.
Ooh, let's go.
All right, love you, buddy. Peace out. Sorry, my brother's leaving. Um, yeah, it is just for you. I mean, I can't post it yet,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but I did come with a little goodie bag for you. I got a couple songs. One is like an actual produced version because we didn't, like I said, we didn't plan on dropping any acoustic stuff. It was just me trying to like get the Instagram a little poppin' by doing covers or like doing a lot of like old songs I wrote. And then Locked In, actually weird about Locked In. I just didn't want to do a cover the next day, the day I posted it. So I was like, dude, I should just write something really quick and throw it up. And so I wrote Locked In like 15 minutes and then just recorded it. And then it just happened to blow up, bro. It was it was just like one of those things where you can never like and I didn't even like the song that much when I wrote it, bro. So that's what I'm saying. You really never know what people are gonna respond to or what the algorithm's gonna pick up. It's super interesting, bro.
I saw you guys have like 7,000 like listens on Spotify already. You guys have
Yeah,
like
dude. And yeah, we dropped seven days ago today. So
yeah.
it's been crazy, bro. Like yeah, we've just been super blessed, dude. I think, we were grinding so consistently on just making sure we were doing content every day that the algorithm it just smiled upon us, you know. That's why it's like for any artist that might be listening to this, my biggest thing would just be to like don't overthink the process. Put your stuff out there, even if you don't think it's great, even if you don't like it, just put yourself out there. You never know what people are going to respond to. And John Mayer has a quote about writing something you might not like, where he says, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not good. It just exists a little bit outside of your taste, but you can grow to like it. And if it came from you, it's like it's still good, you know. As
Yeah.
long as it's like a genuine, authentic form of expression, like I think it's still going to be good. Um, so yeah, I think being consistent, we had posted for I think 23 days, 22 days or something like that, and then the 23rd day locked in, we dropped it, and then people loved it. It like went mini viral on TikTok and then mini viral on Instagram. So we were like, I guess we'll just drop this as a single. People like it, and so we recorded it that night. We had a problem with DistroKid. We thought it was going to be up way sooner, but everything happens for a reason. So it didn't drop for like a 5 or 6 days, but the response has been super cool. So we're like super grateful. We never thought that we would have blown over 1,000 followers in a month. So to be where we're at, it's not huge, but it's huge to us, you know?
Oh yeah, dude. Like it's progress, right? And it's keeping that mindset of, like not everything's gonna happen overnight. Not everything's gonna be like huge overnight, right? And yeah, like they tell us we can do whatever we want when we're kids. They tell us that, you can be whatever you want, but
Yeah.
a lot of times they don't say um, you got to work at it, or you got to keep grinding. They just kind of give you that blanket, like, oh, you can
Yeah.
do whatever you want, but you need that person or you need somebody to tell, yeah, you can. Like, that's something I'm doing different with my kids right now. Is that, I, it's kind of also a reason why I'm doing this because it's kind of like, yeah, I can't do anything that I want. You
100%.
know, I can do anything that I want, and as long as I love it, it would be a an admirable pursuit. Maybe not for admirable pursuit, maybe not for somebody else, but at least for me, to, like to try it myself. And who am
Yeah.
I gonna to tell anybody, you can go for your dreams without me actually like trying myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Amen, dude. I also one huge thing to me is just like the concept of influence, you know? It's like you really don't understand. I think that on a general scale, most people don't understand the type of influence they actually carry. It's like it sounds small, but like, being in a good mood out in public, giving someone a smile, you don't understand like if that could change someone's day, you know? So to actually be in a position where the landscape opens up a platform for everybody, if you have conviction and you actually have a message or you believe in something, I think you're doing a disservice to everyone by not stepping up and then promoting it, you know. There's a reason that everybody's so unique, dude, is because everybody has value for someone. There might be a lot of people that don't like us. We're not for them, you know. But and there is an audience for everyone. And so it's just about like finding kind of your niche, finding your crowd, and then standing on what you believe. I always advocate for artists that come like slide my DMs or talk to me around the valley. Like everyone makes good music. You know, these days music is really easy to find good stuff, but I'm more concerned with why you make music, you know. I want an artist that I can identify with and like relate to. And my value system, if it matches with an artist I like, that draws me to them so much more. I'll definitely show up to their shows. I'll definitely buy their merch. I'll definitely run their streams up, you know. So I
Hmm.
encourage every artist when they're starting for sure, literally sit down with a pen and paper and write down why you make music. And then that needs to come across in your message, you know.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously we're still very amateur, we're still developing, but I think that has added a lot of value. Before we actually started the band, I made both my brothers sit down and figure out why they make music because like at the end of the day, a band is a product. The music's gonna come no matter what, dude. There could be zero people listening. We're not gonna stop making music. It's for us, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're kind of promoting the why, like how can you influence people? And I feel like a lot of people underestimate their influence, thinking like, oh, but I only have this many followers or I only get this many plays. But it's like, yeah, but don't you want to nourish the plays and nourish the audience that you have? So,
Yeah. Yeah, there's like kind of like the same, well, not this, yeah, like the same thing with me. Like my, I've had this podcast is literally, I think I made the page for this podcast back in July or something
nice,
like
okay.
that, back in June. And then I kept on coming back and like, oh no, I'll do it. I'll do it. I already have the page up. Like, I'll do it. It says coming soon. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Until finally it was like, bro, just fucking do it already,
Yeah.
like get into it, get into the motions.
What do you
And
think was
so
stopping you from wanting to just like take that next step and just like grind it out?
it was it was just me coming to a realization in my life um that I'm not getting any younger.
Hmm.
My kids aren't my kids are only getting older, and a big hump was like me sitting down and thinking like what I said earlier, that like who am I to tell my kids that they can do anything that they want
Yeah.
and I don't try.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know what I mean? Like
You want to lead by example type
I
thing.
want to lead by example, and not that I never got that. Well, yeah, like I mean, you never like to say bad things about the people who raised you because
Yep.
they raised you, and they loved you, and I always had food on the table, whatever, blah blah blah. But like I was never really pushed to really do anything. I was smart enough to just kind of like go by, like to keep my head down, and smart enough to be able to do whatever I wanted, that excuse me, to
Bless
do
you.
whatever I wanted, because you're a kid. You're a kid, you want to do the things that you want to do, and I wanted to just, do that. I know, but nobody really kept me accountable
Yeah.
for it. And so I've had a lot of accountability issues, like, oh, it's not happening because it's not my fault that it's not happening. It's because of
Yeah.
this, or it's not my fault that it's happening. It's because of this. So I think it really just came I just had like a realization of, yeah, my kids, like I'm not getting any younger. My kids are getting older. They're able to see what I'm doing now, and I need to lead by example. My son wants to be a WWE commentator, interviewer.
Nice.
My
That's
my
tight,
other
dude.
son, he wants to make video games, or make worlds for video games and shit.
Yeah.
So it's it's not it's not the ordinary path like me and you have, or like everybody else is taking. It's kind of something like me and you are taking right now, right? Where
Yeah.
you know, but I'm trying to instill in them, you need to start working now. Like you need to start
Yeah.
doing it now. And you need to start, if you really love that thing, I want to give you all of the, all of the things that I didn't have as a kid or all of the opportunities that I didn't have. I just need you to tell me what those opportunities you want,
Yeah,
like from me.
100%.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like what do you need from me? I want, you know, I'm trying not to push them. I'm trying not to like, you know, I'm trying to kind of like see what they like to do, see what they're good at, and just trying to like push them in the right direction of
Yeah.
like,
Nurture their raw talents or their
yeah,
passions. Yeah,
exactly,
100%. I
exactly.
think
But
we
yeah,
relate a
that's
lot on that as far as like, accountability. The end of 2024, I had like a lot of crazy realizations about a lot of different aspects, but accountability was definitely one of them. And I feel like a lot of my life, people were just like, "Oh, dude, you're so talented. You're definitely gonna make it." That I just believed that it would just happen.
it's that right there, buddy.
Yeah. And so, moving back here with my brothers, and we met there's another group around the valley called Boys X Girls. Shouts out Jaheli, Love Luck, Jada, Sani, all them, Taj. But they invited us over to go make a joint with them one night. And dude, literally just seeing their workflow and their chemistry and their attitude about everything was so inspiring to me that the next day I started making reels and I haven't missed a day since. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, I think they kind of showed us that there is a blueprint. And if you're willing to put in the work, like you can make this happen independently, dude. You got an iPhone, you got a light, then go, you're good.
Yeah,
So, um, definitely that's another thing is they just invited us over to make music. They didn't know our vibe, what we were gonna be like. We ended up clicking really well, but you really thought like they were gonna influence me to change my life over one night drinking, making a song? Probably not.
yeah,
But that's why I stand on never underestimate your influence. You don't know who you're going to affect with what you say or what you do even. And obviously an influence is it like settles into your heart more when you get to see someone. It really helped me being able to see how they work together, see their workflow, see their passion for it. So, yeah, shouts out Boys X Girls from the Rogue Valley in Oregon. Like honestly, a bit huge things coming from those boys, dude.
shout out boys, ex girls. Try to get
Yes,
them
sir.
on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
Um,
should for sure.
when you first start making a song, or like, well, you said that you guys wrote Locked in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that like lyrics
Yeah.
and like music?
Yeah.
How does
Um,
that, well, I'm sorry, like how does that process like start and like is it just like a sense of urgency like we need to do this now or is it you're like you're locked in, you know what I mean, like
yeah.
you're like no pun intended, like you're locked in and like no, this is what we have to do right now.
Um, so I write everything for All Right. I write all the songs,
Hmm.
and then my brother does like he'll write bass lines, he does the drums, that's Christian. Brendan does like synth work. We don't have produced song out yet. I'm gonna send you one after this. But Brendan does all of the engineering, all of like the extracurricular sounds and stuff like that. And then they both sing as well. So there's a lot of layers to our band that haven't even been shown yet. It's really just acoustic performances. But as far as me writing the songs, dude, I don't want to bore you with a bunch of details, but I have a very specific process I go through.
Please bore me with the detail. That's why we're here, buddy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have three main songwriting principles I stick to. Um, I'll in no particular order, although you probably could order these, would be premier melodies. If I'm gonna write a song and there's no guitar or like someone hasn't come to me with a beat, I'm always thinking of, all right, what's a fire melody, right? So when I went down to write Locked In, I literally looked at my brothers and was like, let's write a song. I said, start coming up with melodies. They didn't even care. They were like, Christian was drumming, Brendan was trying to get food. I was just like, dude, I want to write something right now. I don't want to do a cover tomorrow. So the first melody that came to my head was the da 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 da. And so I said, oh, that's cool. I like that. I picked up the guitar. I thought of like a pulse, blump, blump, bump, bump. And I said, oh, those go really nice together. So Premier Melody, check. The second thing is now I'm writing lyrics. I always want my songs to fall into a specific concept. I feel like it helps relatability. And so I just happened to have been going through a breakup recently and learned that, she was doing snotty things in the bathroom behind my back.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I had no clue, but when I learned that, I was like, dude, that makes so sense. She was being so mean the last couple of months. Um, so that song kind of wrote itself lyrically. It was really fast. And then I was, blessed enough with Locked In. I wrote the third concept is identifiability. So I'm not a big fan of when artists write like intros. And if you do have an intro, I need to know what it is immediately. So Max Martin is where I learned this from. He was one of the great early 2000s songwriters. And he would talk about this like in the first 2 seconds of your song playing, people should know what song it is, right? So if you look at Hit Me Baby One More Time, Max Martin wrote that. It's bum bum bum, ooh baby baby, right? So that's
Hmm.
the formula. Now that's what I steal. I need things that are identifiable. If it's a guitar intro, I need the pulse to be unique. With Locked In, it's clear. It's dun dun. Where do you go? In 1 second, you know what song you're listening to, right?
Hmm.
So those are my three main songwriting principles, being premier melody, relatability, and then identifiability. I think if you really internalize those things, it's gonna be really hard to like not write hits, dude. So, and then obviously just practice. I've been playing guitar for like 20 years.
Hmm.
So I used to shred in metal bands. But now I just like to keep it simple, bro. What sounds sonically good? We're obsessed with the sonics of things. So like when we write a project, like that's writing one song, but now if you want to talk about writing a whole project,
Hmm.
now we're trying to dial in an actual like a sonic sound where okay, I might have identifiability between one song, but am I going to be able to maintain that over four, five, six, seven, eight songs in a project? That's not to say that you can't experiment and have different sounds, but I think projects should sound like neatly wrapped up. Like I want to reiterate, that doesn't mean that you can't sound different, but the sonics should be consistent, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, like it's like fundamentals, right? Like,
Yeah,
you want to, if you don't learn the fundamentals, you don't have, all that set in place, everything will kind of just seem like, like it's spread out everywhere, it's kind of erratic, a little
yeah,
chaos in there, right? But if you, like you said, like you have those three things that you want, those are your fundamentals that you want in your
yeah,
song.
exactly.
And you know, it's also kind of like your style or like your theme, right? Like this is this is what we're gonna expect from Austin or from the band All Right.
Yeah, yeah. Beyond that, um, I would say that like a lot of people love the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro. That
Hmm.
was a great formula, and that's obviously what like the geniuses behind a lot of the early 2000s, those writers kind of developed, and it stuck for a long time. But now with attention spans going down, everything needs to be like it can't just be music, it has to be something visual in your face, all that. I also like if my song runs past 2 minutes around 25 seconds, it's trashed. I'm over it. Like
Hmm.
I also just like quick get in, get out, you know. But that's also just for like retention. I mean, this is gonna be talking more about like less the artistic side and more of like the business side of music.
Hmm.
But like, as an artist, if you're making content, you are worried about things like retention.
Oh
The
yeah.
click through, like how many people saw this and clicked onto my page and followed me, for example.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's trying to find that balance between being an artist, but also being like a brand that you are trying to sell at the end of the day. And so yeah, we look at the analytics, and I think that if people want shorter songs, why wouldn't you give them shorter songs? If that's what
Yeah.
they want, I'm here to serve at the end of the day, bro. I'm just a humble servant. That's really what it is.
No, that's beautiful. It's kind of like what I'm doing right now. Like, um, I think it's really awesome that there's so much music out there, and I kind of I kind of sat down too a little bit, and I was kind of like, right now my page for my music you know, post or music channel, sorry, is has no music on it.
Mm,
Like, what am I doing?
yeah.
You know, like what am I doing? Like, why do I even have this page? And it's kind of like you kind of like me, I talk myself either into good decisions, of course, bad decisions when I was younger. But I'm able to kind of like I question everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, if this is gonna happen this way, then I need to be this way, and then oh, do I look? So I'm like, okay, I finally was like, let's look for an artist. Let's look for an artist. That's the first thing that I did like a month ago. Let's find a band. Let's see if they'll answer. So I was just sending emails left, or not emails, but messages left and right, but to to people where they like their invites, like you had to like accept an invite pretty much from that
Mm,
person. And that wasn't getting me anywhere because who is this guy just randomly like trying to talk to me, and
yeah.
so I kind of had to like switch it up a little bit. But yeah, it's like you just have to get in there and you know
Yeah.
and just do it.
Just
You know
rip
what I
it.
mean?
And I
You just,
think that you said something that resonated with me a lot. This is something we've been talking about quite a bit lately, but I think that, when you step into the landscape of social media as an artist, like we had a whole strategy going into our page before we even made it, So we kind of knew this was going to be our approach.
hmm
And if we had just stuck with that, because we were like, no, we have the plan, we have the plan, I don't think we would have seen as much success. It might have, over the more time garnered us success, but um, one thing that we decided to do was make flexibility one of our biggest strengths. So we're not married to any ideas. We're not married to any of the songs. Right now on our whiteboard we have 14 songs. But the projects, we just want 8 songs on the project, something short and sweet. That's
hmm
like almost 20 minutes of music. Which is a lot these days, dude. I come from an era where I would listen to like hour 20 long albums. So
hmm
it almost pains me that this is where I found myself. But like I said, we're here to serve. And so being flexible, understanding how to read your analytics, and then making adjustments, dude. You can't marry your idea because it might, like, dude, I've had a bunch of bad ideas, dude. Not every idea I have is good. So not being afraid to be like, boys, we have to segue. That that can be one of your biggest strengths as an artist, I feel like. Um, and then also just knowing that, like, dude, the way the algorithm works, from what I understand at this point, you kind of have to serve it, like, especially if you are an established artist and you're trying to get more streams, more plays. If you're not consistent, dude, the algorithm doesn't really have a lot of want to push you, dude. You have to kind of serve it before it serves you. And so, like, you might make some reels and have like 10 bangers that you're like, oh, I don't want to drop these because no one's gonna see them. You kind of have to make some sacrifices to the
hmm
algorithm. And then
And
the
then,
algorithm receives it, and then it will smile upon you eventually, dude. It's just about staying consistent. The algorithm serves those who serve it.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm learning also. Like the first, and it's kind of like, I kind of got to make a little pivot too to kind of serve like the people that I first, started reaching out to because, the like my first maybe two or three, I have like 12 views, 13
Yeah,
views or something like that. And then just little by little, like the views get bigger or like a
yeah,
little higher, a little higher, a little higher. You have to utilize ads also, artists. You
mhm,
definitely have to utilize the ads. Like I don't pay like anything crazy. I'll just maybe bust out maybe like a $10 day or something like that here
yeah, for
here
sure.
and there just to give. But it's the little things that will help, like those kinds of things will actually put you in the algorithm, and now I'm actually seeing more impressions and stuff like that. But yeah,
Hmm.
but like going back, like I'm gonna have to start making a little pivot and kind of give a little grace to the ones that came before everybody else, because now I can, hopefully my algorithm will put them out a little
Yeah,
more now that
yeah.
I
And as
I
it grows,
had a
bro,
pause.
people that rock with you will always go back and look at your stuff. Like my reels before locked in, bro, would cap out at like we were our mind was blown if we hit 1500. We were like, dude, we have a reel that hit 1500 views, guys, you know, and it
Yeah,
have
hell
like
yeah.
80 likes. But after like the whole lock-in pop, our little promo run for that, dude. If you go back now, our average reel view for the old ones are like 5K, 4 to 5K. You know, when I
Yeah.
dropped locked in the first day on TikTok, my first reel had 26 views, bro. You know, it's not
Mm,
like, I think it was just a situation where the algorithm put it in front of the right person that comments and shares it. And like, that's why you never know what's going to happen, dude. All you can do is make the post and cross your fingers and then not get discouraged if what you expect or what you thought doesn't happen, you know? We had ones that we were like, this one's for sure gonna pop, bro. We love this song. 5 views, you know? Obviously
dude.
that sucks, but you can't let it discourage you because it's not like people don't like it. It's that people didn't see it. So
Hmm.
you have to just keep grinding it out and eventually you will be seen, dude. The right people will see it.
Yeah, and people will know if it comes if it's genuine or not, right? Like
I think so.
people will definitely see that, and I think that's kind of why, you know, me posting more on my page and having these interviews and like the more music spotlights that I put out there for artists, it's kind of like showing a little bit, not even legitimacy, but a little like, okay, yeah, this guy wants to help. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
all I want to do is like if my pay one of the biggest things, like I want to be someone. End game is like I want you to come to my studio and have a conversation, have a little performance, kind of like how Howard Stern is, right?
Oh yeah, that's fire. I
So
love that vision, dude.
so that's something that's like my end game with this show. You know, I love live music. I love going to concerts. I love watching people. I have a ton of respect for the people that for street performers, bro.
Oh
Like
yeah,
sh-
for
like
sure.
that's the grind, man. That's the
Yeah,
grind. And
for real, dude.
and like out if I have like cash in my wallet, I'll throw in a five, I'll throw in $1 or something
Yeah,
like
dude.
that. You know
You
what I
gotta
mean?
do
But
it.
because it's something that they love to do, and this is something that I love to do, and I want to project to people that this is something that I actually love to do, and I feel way more comfortable doing this than what I was doing before. Before I had like a movie and a review podcast kind of thing,
I
which is
bet.
still out there.
Fire.
Still getting like a view now from now and then.
I'm gonna peep it after this, bro.
I would take some smoke breaks, yeah. But yeah, like if you love it, you'll like, you'll seem or you'll sound genuine about it.
Yeah,
And that's
100%.
that's r- really all what people want. People don't want a bunch of bullshit, especially nowadays. They just want you. What are you about? Are you
Yeah,
genuine?
yeah,
Are you a good person? For the most
100%.
part, right?
This is something that me and my brothers talk about. I mean, dude, we literally will stay up till 5 a.m. almost every night just talking about like the strategy, talking about the plan, trying to understand the algorithm, talking about like, we go to brunch every Sunday and we all journal. And one of the things we do is like we were talking about accountability earlier.
Mhm.
Is we set a little goal for every week, and then we go around and say, well, first we go around and say, this is what I did good this week, this is what I did bad this week, this is what I want to do moving forward. How can you guys help hold me accountable for that? And then we literally write it on paper how we're going to proceed with the next week. Not everyone is lucky enough to have this type of support system around them. We are very, very blessed to be in the position that we're in right now as far as all living together, having very open schedules. We are really locked in on the music right now. Um, so I would say that you definitely want to make sure that if you have people around you, dude, you got to tap in with them, dude. People I feel like get a lot in their own heads and don't realize that like, if you're just honest with people and genuine, people are a lot more graceful than you think they're gonna be, you know? So if there's something bothering you, with like your brother, your sister, or a friend, blah blah blah, go apologize, dude, and I promise you it will pan out. But going back to what you're saying about being genuine, um, I think that in the landscape right now, dude, with like a lot of industry plants and a lot of like overnight successes that are, really signing deals a year before they announce their deals are signed and stuff like that. Um, it's easy to like get trapped in this phase of artistry where you almost feel like you're too cool. I don't like people that take themselves too seriously, bro. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, we just like we're all in our underwear watching Squid Games last night, bro. Like we're just dudes. Like we're really just bros. Like
Yeah.
but I think what that can stem from is like people stop being a fan of things, dude. And in this house, we are such fans of music first and foremost. Like we couldn't be musicians if we weren't fans first, you know?
Mhm.
And I feel like that spirit kind of has been sucked out of a lot of artistry to where they're like, no, I am the artist, and like they think that their fans serve them when really it's like, dude, I'm a fan first and foremost. If I
Mhm.
wasn't a fan, I wouldn't be able to make this type of music, you know? So I think that it's healthy to nourish your appreciation for music and like always be looking at what's new. And like you said, you see a street performer, you throw five in, always supporting the landscape as well. Because at the end of the day, there is plenty of ears to go around, dude. I've I've came up in groups where it was like someone would have it like start seeing success and then it would like start building resentment within the crew and people would get jealous and there would be these weird
Mhm.
fights and weird tensions living with them. And it's like a rising tide raises all ships, iron sharpens iron, and it takes many to it takes a village, you know? So that's kind of the wave we're on. Again, I'm sorry. Shouts out boys X girls, bro, because like I said, dude, none of this would even be possible if they hadn't just extended an invite. And they could have just seen what we were doing and been like, "Oh, fuck those." Or can I cuss?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, they could just be like, "Fuck those guys, dude. I don't like the fact that they're making music from the same place." But they extended a helping hand and they saw us for just who we were. And now
Mhm.
we have like a seriously deep and beautiful friendship with those guys. So, you know, a rising tide at the end of the day raises all ships. You have to just be willing to get over kind of like the artist in you that wants to be like, I'm better than this, and like reconnect with the fan. I feel like, dude. I think that it's good when you are a fan first and an artist second, dude.
Oh yeah. Uh, Definitely. And then ask for feedback, right? A lot of
100%.
people, one thing I've learned in my job and like growing up is a lot of people they enjoy when you ask for their feedback. And they'll when you ask for somebody's feedback, they'll give you most of the time, most of the time, I'll say 90% of the time, because there's outliers out there, of course, and there's just, assholes and dicks out there. But if you ask somebody for feedback, it's kind of like, oh, you care what I think. And everybody wants, that's kind of like in an artist either painting a painting or, like a musical artist coming up with something, right? You want to know, oh, you like to know what I think because that came out from here, right?
Yeah.
You want to know what I think. So, just asking for feedback also is another way to kind of, hone your craft and, not be scared to ask for feedback because be okay with constructive criticism
100%.
and learn that not everybody speaks the same way. And
Yeah.
somebody's constructive criticism can feel like a jab at you, but you have to take everything, kind of like not with a grain of salt or anything, but you have to take it with, how is this going to make me better rather than, ah, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And also, I feel it comes from you'll be able to feel the energy, like, when someone says something, if they're being constructive or if
Yeah.
they are just being kind of a dick. But you make a great point. I think also like we're all Italian in this house. My dad's Italian, my mom's from Guam. And so we have like super thick skin. So
Mm.
like it's really hard to offend us, really easy to confuse us. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like we actually have been blessed enough to not really get too many mean comments, but even the mean comments we get, we're just like, is there anything we can extract from this? And then amongst us in the house, we have no problem being like, oh, dude, you're cooking garbage right now. I'm so sorry. Maybe keep it pushing. Maybe open up a new file, like. But I mean, like I said, we're brothers, dude. So at the end of the day,
Oh
we
yeah,
know what
hell yeah.
time it is. We love each other deeply. So if someone comes up to me and is like, "You're cooking garbage," I'm like, I hit him with the John Mayer quote. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not good. It might just exist a little bit outside of your taste.
Hell yeah. Um, One of the last questions I like to ask is what is All Right's what's Austin's message, the message that you want to give out to the world?
Um, well, dang. All right, I'll be honest with you, dude. We stand on business, dude. One of our biggest convictions was being raised by like, and this is gonna sound kind of dumb, dude. It's gonna sound kind of pussy, but this is like exactly why we stand on this message is because we grew up kind of like in a hyper masculine environment. And so when the whole like toxic masculinity wave came across, we didn't even understand it. We were like, what are you guys talking about, dude?
Yeah.
And then one of the reasons we started this band is because we watched the movie Iron Claw. And going through my breakup in the last year and just understanding, like reaching out, one of the things that I really learned was reconciliation. That's why I'm like, dude, just go reach. If anyone's having like weird tensions with their family, their brothers, their friends, whatever, go reach out, reconcile, and your spirit will thank you for it. And people always extend way more grace than you think they're gonna, dude. So reconciliation, vulnerability has been a huge thing in my life that I've never wanted to be vulnerable with people. So getting down, getting the nitty gritty, peeling back a bunch of layers with my brothers over the last few months, has taught me a lot. And what we kind of want to project is like, a real man doesn't like dominate, a real man protects. That's like the cliche that they say. But we're all about like accountability, brotherhood, relationships, having having an outlet to be vulnerable, but not letting it eat your life, because a lot of times I would make the best music when I was sad, and I almost fed off of like getting into toxic situationships just to fuel that creative energy. But it would bleed over into my life, and I wouldn't be there for my friends and my family. I wouldn't be able to perform at work. Just it would bleed into so many different aspects of my life. So now we're at a point where we kind of want people to feel comfortable being vulnerable with the people that are around them. That way you can work through it and then leave that at the door, crush those things, and then take care of business and be a good father, be a good husband, be a good friend, be a good brother to the people around you. And I think really the bottom line is to respect the influence that you have, that you were given. That's kind of our bottom line is we want people to really step into who they are supposed to be. And that starts with understanding that your influence is far greater than you probably realize. Um, and so, yeah, we're brothers, and we just kind of wanted to give people a glimpse into like, this is what your relationships can look like. Obviously, it's different because we are brothers, but like, how we lean on each other when, I'm not even trying to spill, but we were all crying on that couch a few nights ago, dude, in each other's arms. Because we have a lot of like frustrated talks. We argue like children sometimes do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we love each other so much that we are willing to do those things, have the hard talks, because at the end of the day, it brings you even closer, you know?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so respect your influence. Don't run away from the hard things, get through them, and I promise you, you will be stronger, way stronger for it. That's kind of why we make this music.
That's beautiful. Well,
Thanks, Jay.
thank you, Austin. I really appreciate that. Austin from the band All Right. Their single, or yeah, their new single Locked In is out right now. You can listen to it on Spotify. Check out their page. They are thx dot all right,
Yes, sir.
and you can and they have a link tree. You can check it out on Spotify. Where else can we find it, Austin?
Um, yeah, TikTok. I actually go live on TikTok every night. I had a crazy karaoke session a couple nights ago, so my voice is still kind of messed up, so I'll probably resume it tomorrow. But I go live Monday through Saturday at Thanks All Right, thanks.alright, uh, on all platforms. And yeah, you pretty much covered it, bro. Our link tree has everything in there. We're kind of hard to find on streaming services. So if you just shoot me a follow on Instagram, Um, the link tree is in the bio, and if you DM me that you found me from this podcast, I will send you the song leak as well.
Hey, let's go. Well, thank you so much again
Yeah,
for
thanks for
joining
having me,
us,
brother.
Austin. Really appreciate
Appreciate
it.
you.
Had a great time. Like we say, everybody, be safe, be great, and remember, we share because we care.
I love that.